Yeah, I don't remember when no Cool Jose was cool. All right. Hey
He
there,
was in
YouTubers. Welcome
Halloween
back.
H2O. Hi, Nick.
That's right, he was. He was in something else, wasn't he?
Wasn't he in Deep Blue Sea too?
I think he was.
He was a chef.
Look it up.
He was a chef. He was
Yes.
the black. He kept saying,
And
"The
he-
black guy, I'm gonna die."
and-
He didn't
Great.
die.
That's great. Great.
No,
Okay, so
he
hey there,
survived
beer
both those
tubers.
movies.
Welcome back to
Hi, Nick.
Maxwell Stars Beer Review. Beer Analysis 101 with your host Maxwell Star of Maxwell Stars Beer Review. If I ever reviewed beers again, tonight we're doing non-alcoholic beers. Before we get down to the panel, I'll show you what I have later. Sorry, I'm not on the ball today. All right, so let's go to who we have with us. Starting with actually, Greg was the first one to show up today. So
I know that's
celebrate
so
Greg for a
weird.
second.
I know that's really weird, eh? I was actually just setting up my laptop, plugging it into charge, and Nick sent his link. I'm like, okay, I'll join the chat and be first for once. So there we go.
Yeah, this is the rare time that Greg comes first.
Oh well, it's Valentine's Day, so believe me, I'll be coming first.
All right. Speaking of coming second, let's go over to Laylee. Hey Laylee, how's it going tonight?
Hi, it's going good. I just busy lesson planning tonight, so it's fun.
Nice. Did Greg introduce his beer?
No, he didn't.
He did not.
Okay.
I'll tell him. Well, first of all, I'll just go over here and say, hey, Redbeard, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Awesome. Let's go back to Greg for a second and say, Greg, what do you got with you?
Well, I have, for those of you who actually watch my videos, I post in the chat, which is maybe Nick. I don't know if anyone else does. I don't even know if Nick does. I did something I don't normally do, and I actually got some beer from Bell's. So I thought I would try their Stay Classy IPA.
I watched that video.
I watched that video.
You know what? Randomly, thing that you might be up your alley, Greg. I got an email from Bellwoods. They're having some like insane cellar. Like they got bring out your dead from.
I ain't touching any of their cellar beers. Are you kidding me?
I'm just like, this is from like back in the day when you were enjoying their stuff and they still kind of have some. I thought maybe it'd be
but I don't trust their cellar and stuff. But I will say, if they had it, I did look at that list because I got that email too. Okay. If they had a 2010 Bring Out Your Dead or whatever the first year was, maybe 2012 or whatever the first year Bring Out Your Dead was, if they had a bottle of that kicking around, I would buy that, even taking the risk that it's probably rotten at this point, because I would love to.
I think 2013.
2013, I think, is as far as they go, and I think 2010 was the first. I think 2010 or 2011 was the first one, and I don't think they have any of that left because I don't think they expected it to be as good as it was. So
I just think like the email said, like they're literally they're leaving the cobwebs and everything on the bottles because
they got old vintages.
They just found this thing. Apparently, it's crazy.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they say that, but it's possible.
So, and I wasn't sure, Carrie, have you brought this on the show before?
Honestly, I almost got that for tonight, but I didn't. I haven't had it.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you did for some reason. Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Let's go to Laylee. What do you got with you, Laylee?
I went to the grocery store today and found this beer.
Oh my
which
god.
I thought looked really cool. I liked the bottle and I thought it looked overly fancy for a non-alcoholic beer. So it's Paulaner Muchen.
Muchen? Oh, like it from Munich.
Muchen?
Weiss beer.
Muchen?
But it is this. And it looks really fancy.
Weird.
I've had
What grocery store would you get that at?
Not here. Not North Bay.
No? Was it in the fridge where you got it?
Not in North Bay. I'm in Alexandria. That's grocery store in Alexandria.
Was it in the fridge in the grocery store?
No, it wouldn't be. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Why would they put that in the fridge?
Because it's in a bottle.
Anyway, yes.
All right.
So that's beer.
So
now they put it in the window directly where the sun faces.
I wouldn't.
We also get the Laylee reaction where she takes the first sips and we can see the look on her face. All right, let's go over to Redbeard. Redbeard can tell us what he's got.
Jesus.
Like I said, I almost got what Greg has, but they had some last time I was there, and this time they didn't have any, so I ended up getting a can of this.
Swish. Burdock.
Oh, Burdock, cool.
0.5%.
So basically just
Right.
brewed more or less down the street
Whatever.
from this beer.
Whatever that is supposed to mean. Sure.
Oh, I think it's a sports ball reference.
Oh, okay. Nothing
'Cause
but
isn't-
net.
Isn't swish something you say when you score a basketball or something?
That is a basketball. If you score a basket and the ball doesn't touch the rim, just goes through, that's a swish. So yeah, that's
Swish is also something that Julian drinks out back behind it, King of
Nothing but
Donaire,
net.
from an empty barrel that used to have whiskey in it.
sure.
There we go.
Put some
We're
water in
learning
that and
tonight.
milk and some booze.
Tonight
It's
we're all
called
about
Swish.
learning.
Bring it out, dirty swish. All right. Trailer Park Boys references amongst people who don't watch that show. All right, so I guess that just leaves watching Carrie
You.
pour this thing. Okay. Well, it looks interesting. That's pretty clear from what I can see.
Mine's actually quite hazy for a non-alcoholic.
Actually, that looks pretty good. Is yours an IPA, Greg, or is it just a pale ale?
It's an
Like
IPA.
non-alcoholic. Huh.
It's an IPA. I'm not really sure how they, because usually you differentiate them by the alcohol content. When it's non-alcoholic, I'm not really sure how they differentiate them, but I guess IPAs have more hops.
All right. My turn to introduce my beer then. So I ended up going to the grocery store looking for anything interesting, and this was sitting there. This is Klaus Thaler IPA dry hopped with looks like Cascade hops, and it's unfiltered, 0.05% ABV, I guess. So it's supposed to be non-alcoholic. Yeah, this is not alcoholic right on it. Accounts. Don't
It's a
need
weird-
ticket.
That's like a weird old school kind of German looking can and stuff with like a new school style beer in it. It almost seems that's
like
weird.
It's like like German made, kind of harkens memories of like German lagers and shit like that. I looked these guys up, and they pretty much exclusively a non-alcoholic beer brand. So it's from Germany, all right, but it's just like one of those. They just make non-alcoholic beers, so
Oh,
I'm a
mine's from
little
Germany as
scared of it.
well.
Yay. Yeah, yeah, yours is real though. Like yours is Paulaner makes a really good Hefeweizen, like standard Hefeweizen. We get it here actually in the liquor stores. You might I thought LCBO got it too. All right, so I might as well. I should have shaken it up. The only thing that really scares me on this is looking at the bottom of the can. It has a production date of like July last year, and a best before date of January next year. So
What the hell?
yeah, these come in a 6-pack. Do I really want to drink all 6?
Mine was actually from January
I will actually
24th of
admit
this year.
that color and appearance looks really nice. Look at that.
That's not bad.
All right, so before we circle back around, we have the late showing of Dan. Dan,
What
how
can
you
I
doing
say?
tonight?
Good, yourself?
Wham bam, thank you, Dan.
Well, you know. You know.
Typical Dan.
All right, Dan, what do you got with you?
Well, I was going to go out and get something from Tool Shed, but that didn't happen. That and also I think I'm going to stop buying stuff from them. They might be closing soon or selling things, but that's a different story for another time. However, I brought a little sunshine with me.
Rona Sunbrew.
Ooh.
The 0.0% Corona.
Source of vitamin D? Fucking
Yeah.
seriously?
Yeah.
First, the
Yeah.
Vitamin Dan.
Actually, it says there's 30% vitamin D here.
They're giving it the D.
So,
Is that
Hey,
why
Dan.
they're calling it the sunshine thing? Like
Yeah.
because vitamin D is what you get from the sun. That's
so it's a
weird.
sun brew. Yep.
It's a sunbrew.
Very
There you go.
weird.
Dan, are you for your dry February thing? Do you allow yourself to drink 0.5% alcohol beers, or is it only 0.0 for you?
You know what? Depends.
Your camera's doing some weird.
It
face
is
track
doing
stuff
some. I
right
just
now.
turned it on, so it does this for about 2 minutes, and then it stops because its focus is on the eye.
Weird.
Yeah, it's called
All right.
an expensive camera. Yes,
An
yes, and
expensive
no.
camera should be faster than 2 minutes. What the hell? Bullshit.
A lot of things should be
Okay,
faster than
seven.
2 minutes.
Especially Greg. I mean, wait, no, not Greg.
Oh, I'm faster than 2 minutes.
That's not
He's
the
a 1-minute
A7.
man.
What camera is that, Dan?
It is the Panasonic Lumix G85.
Yeah, it's your old one.
Yes.
All right.
It stopped. That wasn't
Come
even
on,
close to 2 minutes.
nerd. So I guess there's no comments. Let's just go right back to the top of the order with Greg. And since Dan just showed up, you might as well reintroduce your beer, say what beer it is, and then tell us your history on it.
Cheers, Dan.
Good friend Dan, I am having a Bellwoods State Classy IPA, which is 0.5% alcohol. So I don't know whether that's why I was wondering if you would approve of that or not, or if it is not dry February approved.
It's got a 0 in front of it, so yes.
We'll start making some 0.9s.
Yeah.
No, listen, we all know that you can very easily get rid of the 1 in front of a Fax 10%, and then it becomes a Fax 0%. It's a wonderful beer to chug for dry February.
You sound like you've had this experience.
I have. I almost tricked Nick and Lee one time until they caught me.
I remember
So,
that.
history, Greg. You've had this before or no?
History? No, I haven't. So, I'm just trying to see when the last time. So, as we know, and one of the things that I don't like about Bellwoods, well, there's a few things, but one of the things I really don't like is that when they come out with a new beer, sometimes they just decide to give it the name of an old beer, and then they just silently get rid of that old beer. So, this used to be, or State Classy, I should say, used to be their session IPA, which I think was actually, let's go on Untapped. It was actually pretty low. It was 2.9%. So that was their session IPA for a while. And then they just decided to turn into a non-alcoholic IPA. So technically, I've never had this beer before. I've never had the non-alcoholic version. I have had, well, according to Untapped, I've had it twice, with my last check-in being March 13th, 2015. So that's the last time I had the old State Classy. But this one is, I mean, I don't know. I guess I started somewhere here and now I'm drinking there. So there's my history. Here's another bit of history.
Soon that beer will be history.
I mean, one thing I'll say about this thing, and or any really non-alcoholic beers, they don't take very long to drink. Like, you just can chug this thing back. I need like an Imperial Stout to go with it. Well, basically, I can't drink water this fast. That's what drives me nuts, is that you give me this much water, it'll take me an hour to drink it.
Actually, you know, I'm the same way. If I have that kind of water, it takes me an hour to drink it. If I put something like this into it, it takes me 10 seconds.
Well, yeah, then you crave the flavor.
Yes.
All right. All right. Thanks, Greg. Let's go over to Lee.
I have 0 history.
Right.
But Dan, this is my beer.
Oh, Hollander. It's a Weissbier.
Non-alcoholic advice.
Non-alcoholic. Actually, I kind of wanted to check that one out. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
It is
I get that here
strictly.
at your store.
It is brewed strictly in accordance with the Bavaria beer purity law,
There we go.
using exclusively natural ingredients. I don't have a history though. This is the first time I've ever had a beer from this brewery.
Okay.
So I don't even know. I don't even have like a thing to compare it to like their actual beers though. But I picked it because of the bottle, Dan. I thought the bottle looked cool, fancy for a non-alcoholic beer. That is the reason for my choice.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Lee. Let's go over to Gary. Gary, what's your history with beer?
It's almost, well, this is, I don't know. I've had 1 can of this beer.
There you go.
How many cans did you got? Or is it just
That's
that
an
one?
achievement.
That was the can of beer.
And which beer was it?
Went down pretty easy.
It like Greg was saying, this just tasted like beery water.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Swish. Yeah. All right. All right.
So
Like
swish, nothing but net.
Easily the
Uh,
tastiest non-alcoholic beer I've ever had, I guess. I usually find them offensive. That was gone.
All right. What? That sounded pretty good and also anticlimactic at the same time. Let's go over to Well, I guess let's go over to Dan and see what's your history with that stuff.
Well, you're looking at it. My only bottle, and one of my coworkers managed to snag it at work for me. So, yeah, my history with Corona, extensive. My history with this beer, not so much.
Do you feel like it's giving you the vitamin D you so desire?
I don't know. I haven't seen sun in a while, winter and all, and so I can't remember what vitamin D feels like. So
Is it
maybe.
winter?
And we've been getting
All right.
cans in Ontario. Like, fuck, it's sunny all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
go to work when it's dark and I come home when it's dark. So
Like, we haven't had a snowstorm in like several weeks now. They keep going to Nova Scotia instead.
We're supposed to have a storm
Oh.
tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
We're getting
Well,
warning of snow.
We got a decent amount of snow the other day. Like winter looks like it came back, kind of. But
we got a dusting yesterday.
Yeah, we got a
Good.
dusting as well. It was not
All
much.
right.
But it's supposed to
yeah,
have
we got
like
more than the dusting. I had to shovel the driveway yesterday.
not North Bay.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, keep forgetting that.
All right, let's move on to me, and I'll tell you my history with this Klaus Thaler. I've had one can of this already. I drank a can while we were watching movies there on Friday night, and so this is can number 2 of it. And I don't really want to give any spoilers, so I guess I'm going to stop right there.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, and let's go
Well,
read some comments, which we don't have. We do have 2 viewers. If anybody who wants to tell us how you, I don't know, what you drinking. Anybody out there? Hello, knock, knock, knock.
We're
Limit
probably,
fly.
we're probably drinking something alcoholic.
Yeah, kind of like this.
like you all will be doing after this. Come on, don't
Kind of
lie.
like this worm
Mind
screw.
you,
I've
not
been
me. God, no.
Let me see.
Kind of like this Warren's Gruner I've been cleaning my palate with between sips of this Klaus Thaler, but
This beer has nice head. Like, it makes a nice head. Just saying. This has like.
Mine's got some lacing. Look at that.
Ooh.
ooh,
There we
fancy.
go.
Oh yeah, well that's one
Wow.
thing that's good to do with this thing. Look at the lacing on that fucker.
Pardon me.
You're lacing.
Pretty lacing for a non-alcoholic beer. That's about it.
I just spilled all over myself.
Way to go, Lee.
Thank you. I try my best. Who has like the old school interference going on? You could hear the interference, and then someone got a text message. That's like
Yeah.
That'd be Greg.
Oh, that was
Yeah, man. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we all got a message through Facebook Messenger, so I don't know. But it could have
well,
been
yeah, you heard
Distracting.
yours. I heard the interference, and then I heard yours.
You're an interference.
Scott
Sometimes.
says, "Got to stick to the person that is letting me stick them." Oh, yeah, I
In other
gave him
words,
a non-alcoholic beer
Valentine's
today,
Day.
but he's deciding that to spend time with his wife instead, from the sounds of it, which
Oh,
is fine
no.
because the non-alcoholic
How
beer I
terrible.
gave him was actually a Corona Sunbrew, so already represented here. So who cares?
All right.
Jesus, Nick, you're such
He's got
a
a
good
he's
friend.
got a next week's beer already, so as
There
long
you
for as
go.
long as he's still in New Brunswick.
Nick is being a good friend.
Yeah, giving my friend booze when he's unemployed.
I traveled half an hour. I also got the beer for next week.
There you go.
Nice.
What's next week? Do we already have that planned?
What's next week's beer? Well, if nobody answers that in the chat,
Nobody
or asks
answers that in the
that's
chat.
right. Nobody asked that in the chat for this video. We will.
Well, since I'm not actually spoiling anything, I went to the LCBO, got the beer for next week, and bought the wrong beer because I wasn't paying attention. It looks like the same can, but it's not.
Give up the mash.
That's you know what? I honestly,
Actually, fair.
my hand was going towards those ones, and I was like, nope, and then grabbed the So
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to the LCBO tomorrow. I'm gonna return this shit. I'm gonna be like, I want my $4 back. I want to buy the proper beer.
come on, Greg, that's a sour beer. You love a sour beer.
No, I don't want. I want to spend $4 on this thing. It's like, I can get something I like for that.
Oh, my hair is a mess. That is sexy hair going on. Jeez.
There we go. Well, this is the Bukkake cast. So suddenly
right.
we have like 12 viewers.
Yeah, because I took my hair down. Jesus,
Hell yeah.
We'll just
Yeah.
we'll put Lee up center here so she can.
I
play with her
doubt
hair.
it. We have 3. It's okay. I got us 1 more. There we go.
All right.
I don't even think
Well,
that's one of mine.
That's a 50% viewership.
All right. So I imagine we might as well just keep things rolling along. Let's put Greg up here and say,
rolling,
Greg,
rolling.
how's that beer drinking? What do you like? What do you think of it?
Well, so there's going to be 2 very different sides to this equation because much like what Carrie says with his beer, this probably is the best non-alcoholic beer I've ever had. And it's by a wide margin. Like it's like, this is better than some pale ales. Now, it still is watery as fuck. Don't get me wrong. You wouldn't confuse this for anything that's even 5%. But, you know, if you were to tell me this had 3, maybe 3.5% alcohol, maybe 4, I might believe you. It's pretty good for what it is. Now, here's the other end of the spectrum. And this is where my major problem with this beer comes in. 0.5% alcohol. $4.50 a can.
Oh wow!
$4.50 a can.
Oh,
How
yeah.
much is in it? What's the?
It's
the
a regular
beer?
can. 473.
It's a tall boy. So this is a problem because this should not cost $4.50 a can. And I mean, yes, I'm sure because it's very tasty, they put lots of great ingredients in it, and I'm sure it's more expensive than a fucking Compliments Blonde to make. But you're not taxed on this. There's no alcohol. Like, this shouldn't cost more than most regular beers cost. Now, I understand it's Bellwoods. I understand they're in Hipster Central. They have high rent and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. Shouldn't be $4.50 a can. That's ridiculous. So that's gonna be my major issue. Then I usually try not to take price into account on my reviews, but yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. So I mean, in terms of style, I give it a 10 out of 10 because that's what it deserves. It's easily the best non-alcoholic beer I've had, and you know, if I had to ever give up alcohol altogether, I'd probably want to drink this, but I don't think I'd want to spend $4.50 a can on it.
Do you get that sort of metallic to whatever taste that you get in non-alcoholic beers at the end of it? Sort of like a chemical flavor?
Can't say I do, but I also can't say I know what you're really talking about. It's not a flavor I'm familiar with.
So for Partake, for example, their non-alcoholic stuff, you have that sort of after flavor that just hits your tongue. That's just absolutely gross.
I mean, to me, Partake is. I always consider them to be closer to like a hop water than I do an actual non-alcoholic beer. Like they don't really, to me, taste like a non-alcoholic beer at all. Like it's just flavored water, kind of.
Yeah,
that's also why they're like 10 calories or whatever. But to be honest, I don't really know the taste you're talking about, so I can't really say yay or nay on that. But I don't get any unpleasant taste. Like it's basically you just get some pretty nice kind of flavors. It's kind of like almost reminds you a little bit of a Haze Mama, so that might get Carrie perked up. Like a super light, super light Haze Mama, obviously. But to me, it has very similar flavors, you know. And it just goes down really easy. I'm not going to down it in one shot like Carrie does, but it does go down quite easy. It's, to me, just a really good beer. Now, personal enjoyment, that becomes the problem is I don't enjoy paying this much money for a non-alcoholic beer. So, I mean, if I take price out of the equation, I would say my personal enjoyment so I would compare this to a pool beer, something like I'd have by, you know, a lager, maybe even if I'm in a Chris Lezak mood, even like a seltzer, like something that's nice to have on a patio, by the pool. I can have it in the afternoon and not get completely annihilated. So when I'm looking at it that way, I would say it is a solid, I'm going to go 8 on that, but don't write it down yet, Nick. Yeah, I do have to take the price into account. So I am going to give it, with the price taken into account, a 6. which I am being generous on that. I probably should give it less than that based on the price. So I will average it and we'll say I have 7 for overall enjoyment. That's really as generous as I can be. And I feel I'm being more generous than I should be because that price is no thank you, good sir. But it is very good. And if you don't give a shit about price, then yeah, this is fantastic. And I kind of want to try the burdock one now too, as well at some point. But
$3.85 a can from the website. But I bought it at that little boutique stop here in town, so I think I paid at least $5, and mine's a smaller can.
yeah,
So.
but on the website, do they charge you tax? Because Bellwoods tries to trick you. They're like, oh, $3.99 a can, but they charge you tax on that.
I don't know about burdock. I just was on the. So I do have another beer by them. I have a stout as well, but haven't had that one yet.
So
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Anyways,
Let's,
10 and 7. Good showing from Bellwoods. Just come on, let's get the price in line. Hi, Bella. Bella.
be better. Yeah, I get what you're talking about. When it's not, you enjoy the beer, you don't enjoy paying that much for it.
No,
Honestly,
it's not.
It shouldn't be that expensive.
Like, I got a question. What if you were to brew this exact same beer and then just leave the alcohol in it? Would you charge like $8, $9 for this can? Since now you're paying alcohol tax on it? Like, something tells me you wouldn't. So, no.
I'm just waiting for the cease and desist from Molson Canadian to use that design.
Not even close.
Their old
Like-
70s design.
I
that they
mean,
used to
I
have.
see the resemblance, but I don't think it's anywhere near close enough to have any kind of lawsuit.
Yeah, like there's so many beers that get away with doing so much shit like that. Yeah, I feel like that's not even on the radar probably. Like the only one I can think of that was like Blood Brothers makes Blood Light. Looks straight up like a Bud Light can. They're been doing
Oh
that
yeah,
for a while.
that's
Cold
that's
Garden here.
The only
had
one I can
theirs-
think of that may have got some kind of cease and desist is Great Lakes with their Grimace Tears, and now it's like Monster Tears or something. 'Cause I feel like maybe McDonald's was like, don't use our character like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever publicly said why they changed the name, but that would probably be a reasonable assumption, or maybe they just wanted to get ahead of it and they were worried about it. So
That's possible too. Yeah.
Cold Garden got a cease and desist from Colt 45.
And looking at what Dan's talking about here, you can see like 1970s Molson had that kind of
yeah, I mean, there's a resemblance, but you're not going to
hexagonal
confuse
kind of
the
look.
two. At least
Yeah,
don't
I get what
think
you're.
so.
Yeah, like they
they're gonna go after
use the
the
kind
border.
of same shape for the border, but it's a different color. It's their own.
Well,
thing.
the gold trim at the bottom, the writing at the bottom of beer or lager.
If they call it like "Stay Canadian" and then just wrote "Stay"
Yeah.
really small and Canadian really large in block letters,
Or
maybe.
even if the word "stay" was like alternating blue and red letters, like Canadian or something.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's not close enough.
It
for-
just kind of
Yeah.
gave me that sort of resemblance
Anyway.
in my head. So
All right, so let's keep moving this thing along here. I'm gonna put Laylee's back, so we'll put her back up on the screen.
Hello.
Oh, that.
Hello,
Uh,
welcome back.
I'm. It's kind of funny because like I remember the first year we did this. Mind you, I had like a Radler that time, but first time we did this, or second time I
Somebody's
found
cat
one.
dying?
that's mine. Sorry.
I was
Jesus
really-
Christ,
Trying to
man.
talk.
I wasn't really impressed with the beer that I got, and especially with like the description that Dan gave earlier, like the tinny taste. That's what I found with like the NAs. They're the first NA that I had, and then last year I went and like found a different one that I really enjoyed, and then this year, same thing. Like this one's actually really good. So I know we've all kind of mentioned that we've really enjoyed our beers, and I think they're just maybe possibly just doing a better job at it, or I'm just finding better ones. Because yeah, this one does taste like a wheat beer. It's very similar. Yeah, it's a good mimic to a wheat beer. If someone enjoys those and have a craving for them, I could see this being able to kind of like subdue that alcohol craving and just have something that's non-alcoholic. It's good. Like it kind of surprises me that it doesn't have alcohol. Like I just the taste. I don't know. It's got flavor to it. It doesn't taste too watered down because I think last year the one that I had I found like it was a watered down flavory beer, but this one has like the wheat beer taste and the wheat beer smell. So it does a good fucking job. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. So for style, yeah, I'm just gonna give it a straight up 10. If this is like non-alcoholic and this is your wheat beer, like it hits the mark for sure. Um, Personal preference. So unlike Greg's, I think mine was 320 and mine's 500 milliliters. So I think I got a little bit more value out of mine compared to yours.
Better deal, but it still seems kind of expensive. But then again, bottles are always more expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, and like anytime you get anything like fancier, even if it doesn't have alcohol, they always charge you way more because it's like the Italian sodas; they'll charge you like through the roof. So
Yeah.
I'm not entirely surprised at that because it's like a specialty beverage. Um, but personal preference, I'd go with a 9. It's like I drink it pretty fast. I'm not saying I would always go for this. Like I don't know, I'm not craving a beer, so I don't think I ever really care to drink non-alcoholic beers. But I think it's great for an option if it's there.
Nice. Yeah, I can get that here. I've had that one before. I find it marginally better than the like Gerdinger makes an alcohol fry.
Done.
One thing I thought was kind of cool is that my superstores just started carrying Weinstefaner non-alcoholic, which is kind of cool. But generally, it's nice to see that like the non-alcoholic versions of like the major wheat beer players from Germany making beers. So it's like that's an actual like OG wheat.
It's a big push because the thing is okay. So I think I make this this topic conversation every year, but a big thing. There's a lot of non-alcoholic options that are being made now. Like a lot of people are jumping onto that train, and as much as people like to make fun of it, the reality is there's a lot of people who are dealing with like alcoholism and addiction. So having these are really handy because if you want to enjoy a beer, you want to do something, you still get to do so. It just doesn't have alcohol, and also even the option for anybody who's pregnant, then you have that option of you're craving something cool. You can have something that like kind of gets rid of that craving without having the alcohol. So super cool that a lot of these companies are doing this now and they're jumping onto this because I think it's a very important thing to do. So yeah, that is my thing.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Let's roll on over to the beard and see if he remembers what his beer tasted like.
It was good. It didn't have really IPA. I thought more of a pale ale kind of thing going on. Redonkulously smooth, like just fucking beery water basically, but no, I don't know. Whenever I had any other non-alcoholic beers in the past, they just had like some kind of, I don't know, shitty overall flavor going on where this was not. So I'm going 10 for the style and enjoyment. I'm not going to buy it again price wise. And like Lady Lee, the whole like get what she's saying. But from my point of view, like if you want to have something non-alcoholic, don't have a beer. Like this, if you're a hardcore alcoholic, I don't feel like something with no alcohol is going to really do it. You know what I mean? Because you're drinking to get drunk and it's, I don't know. But for the pregnant lady thing, I can totally get behind. Yeah, if I'm going to go with
pregnant women,
I'll go 7.5 for overall enjoyment. It was, if I was given another one, I'd totally drink another one. But
okay,
yeah,
I'm going to show something here. This is hilarious because I was looking up Carrie's beer on the website, the Sun Dominion City's website, Burdock, and it's saying it's $5.25 a can, but it's you can have 4 interest-free payments of $1.31 with Zazzle.
That's
hey,
pretty funny.
You want to pay for your beer in installments.
If you're financing your beer, you've got some issues.
That's hilarious.
Hey Scott, listen up. You can finance your beer. All right.
That's funny.
that was just that was just fucked. But I could see if somebody who's like putting in like a large order and they wanted to I don't know, financing beer doesn't make sense to me. I think that's All right.
Yeah, so there's certain things I feel if you need to finance, you maybe just need to figure certain other things out with your life.
If you're running a business and you're buying the beer for your business or something, then
Okay,
maybe
fair enough,
kegs
fair
of beer or something. But
Yeah,
otherwise,
if you're buying thousands of dollars of kegs or something, I can see that, especially if you're a startup business. Okay,
Yeah.
I stand
well,
corrected.
that
in
makes sense.
situation.
Yeah, but I mean,
but
for
the
consumer-
the whole payments on a single can is still pretty hilarious. I can't deny that.
right.
It was 10 and 7.5 for my ratings. So
Nice. Awesome. Good job. All right, so let's see what Dan thought of his Corona.
All right. Well, unlike you guys, this is free, so I don't know what the price was. For a Coronas taste like water anyways, so I mean, this is just basically a vertical of it, possibly. It's actually not bad. It works. I do like my Corona with a little bit of lime. So unfortunately, I didn't have real lime, so I went and grabbed some lime juice and put a couple of drops in. Tastes just as good as a Corona, and it works for me. Honestly, I could see myself buying a few. Probably, I would go to Costco and buy the 24 pack that they have there. Being that it's cheaper all around, and you're not spending $5-6 a can, unlike some places. Not naming any Bellwood names. But I mean, yeah, it's getting ridiculous that you spend almost as much as a 4-pack for non-alcoholic as you do for a alcoholic 4-pack for any craft beer out there. So I don't disagree there. For the style, yeah, it's a 10. It works. It actually is quite nice. It drinks rather well. For enjoyability, if I have it with a lime, it's an 8.5. I would probably buy a few of those just to enjoy them out on a deck if I was having a nice summer day and not drinking. So
Yeah, that Corona Sunbrew is actually one that I might buy occasionally, just because I mean I kind of like it better than regular Corona because it's gonna be a beer that tastes like shit anyway.
yeah,
But you drink those things ice cold, right? Like it gives you that kind of I'm chugging a beer cold really fast on a hot day kind of feel.
yeah.
That you really was probably what you're after in the first place. It's not bad when it comes to that in that regard.
No, it isn't, and it works. And like I said, throw a little lime in there. It's like drinking a Corona just with no alcohol.
There you go. All right, and I believe it's now my turn to talk about this Klaus Tower non-alcoholic dry hopped IPA, which, like I mentioned before, it says stamped on the bottom of the can, 7/2023, 27th of July last year is when it was canned. So think IPA in that regard. And the best before date is the 27th of January next year. So you're talking about almost like a year and a half shelf expected out of this. I'm like, man, this is junk after fucking 6 months. So now to tell you what I feel about it, I mean the aroma is kind of weird. Like it's like you go into it kind of expecting to get this like saying it's a double dry, like it's saying it's a dry hopped IPA. You kind of want all the citrusy notes, but I feel like it's a blend of like grapefruit notes, some sweet notes, but mostly like cardboardy malt. When you drink it, this is where it really takes a step into the left field. And who knows, maybe Carrie would like this, but it tastes like sour, like a tart, lemony grapefruit taste. It's a touch briny. It's very like sharp sourness instead of that smooth juiciness that you kind of want out of any kind of IPA. Yeah, I wouldn't call it super bitter, but if it were dry hopped, I kind of want something that's a bit more rounded. And this one ends up like giving you that sour fruitiness that's on top of like bready molasses cookie malt body that and in a kind of gross cardboard aftertaste that's kind of making me think like, oh dude, I got 4 more cans of this shit after this. I'm giving away. Holy fuck. Craig. Hey, cheers, Craig.
Hey.
Hey, cheers.
Talk about you in a moment here, but yeah, like this shit, it's shit. So I'm gonna give it 6 for the style and 4 for overall enjoyment. I'll probably pawn those those 4 cans on somebody, or I don't know, maybe I'll drink them. I don't know. I just not in a rush to do so. Oh,
Cuvée.
gross. Cuvée, yeah, that's actually an idea because I've got this. I'm kind of drinking this can of Hornsgruner from another German Pilsner. That I started drinking it as a beer before the show, but I still had some, and I'm thinking like, man, I ended up drinking this shit between takes on this video because I'm cleaning my palate. It's just like get that gross sour cardboardiness out of my mouth. So, how does it taste when I do add some alcohol to it? Oh, look at that! I got more head. All right. That's a million times better. Okay, that way it wasn't that bad. Wow. Maybe that's what I'm just going to have to do. I'm going to have to buy more cans of this Hornsgruner and then cut them.
There you go.
Just to get rid of that rest of that 6-pack. Anyway, okay. So we do have comments here. Let's before we circle back and see what everybody would have rather have had. Who wants to? Obviously not Redbeard reading comments. Greg, you have the comments up?
Nope, but I can get them up very quickly. Okay, let's have a look. Oh,
Greg's
YouTube's
gonna
going
get
to
it up
refresh. Well, you know, that's my specialty. Mr. Lee Russell says, you're a wheat beer. I assume probably referring to Lady Lee being a wheat beer. He also says, what do you guys think? Good tasting NA options are more for being able to have them in social situations, but still be a DD, ? Alcoholics probably care less about taste in most situation, I'd imagine. I think he's correct. I mean, I could see. I mean, I think it's for that situation. I think it's also like, I mean, the thing is, a DD can also just have a Coke or something too. They don't necessarily need beer. I mean, to me, I think like, you know, my dad, who's now dead, sorry to bring the chat down. He was dry he didn't have any beer. He didn't have any booze for the last 25, 26 years of his life. And he didn't drink it often, but occasionally he enjoyed an NA beer because it said to him, it was like, it reminds me enough of beer that I can drink it, but you know, I don't want to start drinking again. So this is it. So for people like that, people that have health issues, they can't drink beer, but they still want the taste of it. So, I mean, listen, it's a product, you know, I think it's a product that probably isn't really that, there probably isn't that massive a market for, although I think it's becoming bigger and bigger nowadays, just because I think up until very recently, even like the last 5 years, there haven't been too many good options. Now there kind of are, but now you kind of deal with the price aspect of it. So it's, you know,
It used
but no,
to be
I don't.
Molson Excel, and that was like it, or whatever.
Oh, like
there's-
O'Doul's, River O'Doul's.
So there's a lot of situations where I've talked to people who are off alcohol, and that is why. So out of my friends that are recovering, and they go to the bar, they prefer to have a beer, an NA beer, or a mocktail, because then they can still feel a part of the group, but they're not drinking. Like they still have something that's similar, but it's not with alcohol. So that is something that is an option. Like even at Lou Dogs, I serve a lot of the NA beers when everybody's drinking a beer and someone's like, okay, well then I'll just get a non-alcoholic beer. It just allows people to be in a social situation without having to drink alcohol.
All right.
And there's other options too. Obviously, there's other reasons.
Yeah, I feel but this like there's a general trend towards non-alcoholic beers because, well, for what Laylee's describing, yeah, that's one. But there's also general trend because some people might think it's healthier. Like I'm not drinking alcohol, so I'm gonna have these non-alcoholic beers to have a healthier lifestyle, but still have beer. But I'm thinking like, doesn't it still give you the same number of calories? But
it's just something.
Oh, most
There,
NA
the
beers
options
are
there.
less calories, but I mean, again,
This
you're
one's
not
only
going to
60 calories. I mean,
Yeah, I mean
that's
it's
one.
it's a lesser, it's not like if you want no calories, drink Perrier or water or something along those
Yeah.
lines. But I mean like some IPAs and stuff, like if you actually look up the calories on them, they're quite hefty. They're like 300 calories, some of them, and stouts are even more. So if weight loss is your goal, then yeah, that is potentially something that could help.
A lot of people bill like Guinness as having being very low in calories and fairly healthy, but Guinness is a pretty watery stout.
You usually the more flavor there is to something, usually the more calories. So that's kind of just how life works, unfortunately. I mean, I'm still trying to find low calorie chicken wings that are delicious, but
need to find them non-alcoholic chicken wings.
Yes, non-alcoholic chicken wings. That would be great. Because for some reason, every time I eat chicken wings, there's always a beer appears right in front of me, and I have to drink that beer. So if I could find a way to have chicken wings without beer, that would be really healthy for me. But as of right now, I gotta say it's an impossible search. So
yeah, that's not a thing that chicken wings without beer. That's just crazy talk.
No,
Crazy
it's
talk.
insane.
It's like barbecuing without beer. What the fuck?
There you go.
I generally don't barbecue anything that, like, I make burgers or something. It takes like 15 minutes, maybe. I generally don't have a beer while I'm barbecuing. I don't know.
Well, there we go. It appears for the first time ever, Carrie and Dan have disagreed on something.
Wow.
To each their own, man.
Then we basically just get a cheers all from Craig, and then we get a cheers Craig from Lee, and then he says, "All right, Lee," which I almost wonder if maybe Lady Lee asked him how he was doing, and he's saying "all right." And maybe
that's I think that's a like British thing. All right. Lee?
Oh, okay, because I thought he was like somebody was asking how he was doing, and he was just replying, "All right." That's it for comments, but since it is dry February, we're doing NA beers. Let's give Dan a second. Let's put Dan up and give him a chance to pimp his dry February page.
Well, I just like to say one thing only. Fuck you, Greg.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, because you said that you want me to say it live or say it in some sort of video. This is a video, so fuck you, Greg. Fuck you very much for the $25, a golden ticket that I will not use.
Yeah, but have you checked the date on the golden ticket?
Oh no, that I have not. Probably is it for the first? I can't check the date. I've got to go in and sign in.
Okay, yes. It's for March 1st. I should have made it like December 1st and say you can't drink until then.
You watch it. There might have been a challenge accepted on that.
Should make a donation for a golden ticket and put it for February 29th, because that'll give you years. Like, you know what? Technically, the month's over. It's the 28th of February.
That's true.
Yeah, Dan, in your religion, you don't observe the 29th.
Yeah,
you don't observe leap year days.
But yes, if anyone wanted to donate at all, they could always go to drivefeb.ca/user/Western-Canadian-reviewer. I know it's a lot to think about, but I'm sure.
Just literally go to drivefeb.ca and type in Western, and there'll probably be like 5 options. Find the one that says Western Canadian Beer Reviewer.
There you go. Yep. And that'd be me. So. But yeah, aside from that, so far, $356 have been raised out of the $1,000 total I've got going on. So, and my highest thing, the person that raised it was $200 from one of my friends who is over in the Netherlands. So, yeah, he got it started.
Fancy.
So,
pretty good start. By the way, in order to do the donation, I had to like put my account back online. So technically, you can donate to me too, but I suggest you don't, because I'm not going to try.
You're using golden tickets every day.
I mean, I guess if you want to donate, go ahead. I won't even tell you what my account is, but if you want to, but no, I would suggest you don't, since I'm not doing anything to earn it. But yeah, for some reason, I had to reactivate it just to do a donation. So
that's weird.
Funny, I just went to drivefib.ca and it's got this like random link of random people donating money. I see floating across the bottom, Greg Bolosky donated $25.
That's right.
Just happened to be at the right time.
Nice. Look at that.
That's
Yeah,
right. Well,
apparently
Because
I
he
have
did it just now.
apparently I have a handler as well who keeps phoning me, just saying if there's anything that I need to talk to them, and I'm like, I think I'm good. I'm on my 5th year of doing this, so
tell them to get you a whole
Watch-
whackload of like non-alcoholic beer
yeah.
There you go. Do it.
from
Where's
like
where's my free
Bellwoods and
non-alcoholic beer,
Murdoch.
Dan?
What's that?
Where's my free non-alcoholic beer, Dan?
Talk to my coworker.
Oh. All right.
Depends
So
on-
do we finish reading the comments?
No, I don't think we did. So let's go back to Greg.
Greg.
I think that's it for the comments. Hold on, let's have a
Well,
look.
there's cheers all from Greg.
Oh,
Yeah, we
that's
did
right.
that.
Okay,
We did
probably. All right, Mr. Russell
Well, I
says
did
probably helps elevate the social stigma of not
There you go.
actually having alcohol in those situations. Yeah, so basically agreeing with us. And yes, calories equal yummy, and that's generally how life works, unfortunately. And then Nick posted the link to Mr. Dan's
Dan's.
thing. So
Greg
and this year it's easy. I remember there was one year where it was like there was like 4 of us doing it. It's like, oh shit, this is going to be expensive having to. I like to try to support
like
everyone, but
you,
I'm like,
me, Dan, and I think was it Ashley that did it too, or no? Carrie did it once.
I didn't do it.
Oh,
I
you
think
so you
Ashley
didn't sign
did.
up
I did it, but I didn't sign up for like a couple weeks.
for like a week. It's like you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it too if you do it, and then
Yeah.
I ended up going through like all 3 weeks, and then you didn't. You're like, fuck this.
I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming Ashley's not doing it this year. I haven't heard anything. I don't hear much from Ashley
You don't
nowadays.
hear much from
anyway. It's
Ashley
almost,
anyway. Yeah.
it's almost like
Yep.
he doesn't like us. Next time in Welland, I got to randomly show up at his place and see what's up.
Well, he comes into the chat every once in a while and gives us an update at least. So I guess he doesn't hate us completely.
It's true.
No, he's not like Joe.
All right. So I'm going to go back around. I'm going to start with you, Greg. What do you, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather try?
Carries.
Carries.
It seems like another delicious NA beer that's overpriced.
Alrighty. Lady Lee, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have tried?
I'm going to go with Nick's
Really? Okay.
because
Even Nick is
German
shocked.
and mine's German. That's all.
There you go. I keep thinking like if mine were a bit fresher, it'd probably taste a whole lot better. And it's probably just because it's grocery store kept. Anyway, thank you, Lady Lee. Let's go over to who's next. Carrie.
Greg.
Greg. Okay.
Yay.
Oh, God.
Okay. And finishing it off with Dan. Of all the non-alcoholic beers you heard here tonight,
Lady Lee.
I think Nick's
Okay.
a tiebreaker.
Well, Nick's still got to do his.
That's why I say
No,
Nick's a
both of you.
tiebreaker. He's got to say his.
Yeah.
Oh, technically,
Okay,
no. you
so-
can say your own.
Unless Nick
speaking.
votes for Dan.
Like, go for Dan and then spoil it all because everybody would be tied. But and as much as I like the Sunbrew better than the real Corona, it's to me the two are toss up with like between Greg's and Carrie's. And Greg sounds a whole bit more like a regular IPA or something from Bellwoods that just happens to have no alcohol in it. Although Carrie's does sound awesome too, or if you can drink it that fast, it must be worth drinking that fast.
I feel like if I had Greg's beer, it probably would have went down pretty damn quick as well. It's a bigger can, so it's going to take a bit longer to drink. But
Yeah.
I have no objections to you voting for Greg's beer because I also voted for Greg's beer. So
All right. So that means that tonight's winner is Greg
Greg.
with 2 penises in his hands.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll just wait for Lee to like Photoshop 2 cocks in my hand here.
I'm too busy for that.
There you go,
Hey.
Jamie.
Is
No,
one going in
no,
your ear
no.
when you turn your head like that? Is that what's supposed to be?
Yeah,
like?
basically.
Nice.
Not you, Lady Lee. You're no good at drawing cocks. We need Mr. Lee. He's the cock master.
It's like a snake charmer, but cock charmer.
I mean that's the specialty. So I'm sure we'll get something that I'm sure Jamie will make some sort of weird edit because why not? And by the way, we're just mentioning dates. I did have a look at this. First of all, Bellwood's date stamper, most of the cans, like you can't even make it out. It's really fucking awful. So come on, Bellwood's for $4.50 a can, get that fixed. But it's from October 17th, 23. So I mean, number one, fuck you for selling a 5-month-old NA beer, but also fuck you. It actually tastes pretty good. I'd like to try this kind of fresher.
Mine's still older than yours, Greg.
That is impressive for sure.
Well, yeah, but you didn't buy yours from the brewery, so I feel the brewery should have a little bit better, standards on that. But again, I mean, for 5 months old, I'd actually like to try a fresh one and see what that tastes like, because that makes it actually a little more impressive.
Well, you know what? Like if they're doing it right, like being the brewery, having the actual control over the quality and shit, if they've got that beer still hanging around, you'd think they're at least cracking one can open every couple weeks and tasting it and making sure it's still okay. Because
I would certainly hope they would.
I'm wondering now what the date would have been on the can that I would have got at that place here in town.
Well, if you can possibly read the date, I mean, this one you can read, but it's not. I don't know how it's not the easiest. Like that. It took me a while. It took me a while. Really? It took me a while. I thought that was a number, and then I'm like, oh no, that's October for the month. I think that's October anyway.
Yeah, it's for sure October. Yeah.
Oh, OCT. Okay.
But actually, funny enough, it's easier to see through the camera than it is with my own eyes. So that's
I don't have any issues at all. Yeah, when it's nice
like
that.
Greg.
Well, that's the thing with your eyes trying to see something that small as opposed to putting up to the camera where something is huge. Yeah, you're going to see it easier.
So I just read something about the beer I brought tonight, and it looks like Klausthaler from Germany is the originator of the non-alcoholic beer.
Huh.
They invented the non-alcoholic beer in the 70s.
When no one even thought of it, and
I guess.
I wonder if that's actually like 100% true. The very first one. That's their corporate website. That's on I guess they're part of the Radburger group. That's quite the big claim.
Had Radburger or another brand that they got is Schafferhofer. I think a lot of people have had Schafferhofer Radlers before.
It seems familiar. I kind of like the name Schafferhofer. It sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I've had Schafferhofer. I love that. It's like a Hefeweizen Radler.
Is it Schafferhofer or Schoferhofer?
Schoferhofer.
Because the two dots over the one O, but nothing over the other O.
That's besides the point. I was just trying to say that I like that one better than the Stiegel Radler. Anyway,
I enjoy the Stiegel Radler actually. That's a fucking fantastic value for money beer right there.
Oh, someone asked the magical question. What is next week's beer?
Actually, does anybody have the beer handy?
Hold up the one you got, Greg.
Yeah, I got the beer handy right here.
The wrong one.
Right. Oh, yeah. It kind of looks like this one though.
I want to say that's red. I think the other one's actually orange. They are a bit different, but when you first glance at them, yeah.
Well, yes, but yeah, for not paying attention, Greg just randomly grabbing.
Great Lakes randomly just changed this on their Canuck cans. The top is no longer black; it's actually red. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if they're doing that with other beers, but
they periodically change. They've changed Canucks only like 6 or 7 times in the last few years. I mean, it's always very subtle, small changes. But
a couple of years ago, they did a pretty big overhaul on the look of the guy and stuff. I think. But
yes, yeah, they did. Yeah. I think it was because I think they have an in-house or like a contracted artist that does all the art, and I think they were just trying to get everything on the same page. So I think the old one was by a different artist.
Gateway City Brewing here in North Bay actually has the same kind of thing going on with it. The same artist does almost all their can work, and it's pretty cool. There's the beer right there.
So there we go. Beer is the one with all the SpongeBob artwork on it. This is Collective Arts Fuzz Face Triple New England Style IPA, 10.2%.
But will you accept the jam up
back in the other direction? No.
Oh.
We should have like a Collective Arts night at some point though. Just because we're desperate for content. Alrighty, I think
like the beer, or should we just all show off our art collection?
Yes. I don't know.
How many Picassos do you guys have?
Collective Arts actually has a non-alcoholic pale ale in the LCBOs right now that I was tempted to grab. I'm shocked that nobody here has, to be honest.
Well,
I didn't
Greg
even
had
know.
them
I didn't even
2
know they
years
had
ago,
it.
didn't you?
Was that sorry, Nick?
Didn't Greg buy them a bunch of those 2 years ago or something?
They didn't have any in the LCBO, but I remember he did. Greg did buy him and I think Lysak or maybe Ashley Sexton bought a decent little selection of. The Collective Arts made a little selection of non-alcoholic beers a couple of years ago. I want to say.
You can buy them on upsidedrinks.ca.
Is that website that gives you the payment options you're looking at?
No.
Well, there's no payment options. I don't want it. I want my installment plan.
I know that they had like the Emerald Stout. I'm willing to bet that if I showed Greg this, he'd jog his memory.
Oh yeah, I think I'm looking. I'm looking at their website right now. Yeah, I think I have had. Yeah, I've had. I'd have to check which ones, but yes, I've had.
I feel like he probably bought that
Emerald
6-pack. I feel like he probably bought that 6-pack.
If it existed back then, but yes.
All right, I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm going to take this thing offline. I cue Carrie with the,
What are you talking about?
Yeah, show all the ladies your penis for Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
There you go.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll chat with you guys later.
Now let's go have some real beer.
Exactly.
Yeah.